Doma Sports Talk, worldwide, with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, it's a sad day in boxing. One of our up-and-coming legends in the sport has claimed he's retired. We had that for about 6 months ago with another pretty good fighter that we have, a champion, in Teofimo Lopez. Now, Shakur Stevenson, also a young fighter, is claiming he's going to retire. Right? But before I start, I'll say something. About 2 years ago, I remember in Congress, about maybe 2.5 years ago, Mark Meadows was in Congress, and he was sitting there, and one of the Congress ladies, I think Sheba, or her name is, I forget, my bad by getting the name wrong. One of the five ladies who they were all against because, you know, they come from different countries and stuff like that. I forget they had a little name. They were new Congress ladies, and they really had a lot of energy. Well, anyway, she called Mark Meadows in Congress racist because of some of the things he was doing. And Mark Meadows was outraged that she would say that, and he pointed to one of his assistants who was black. How can I be racist, right? Then after that, he became President Trump's, what was he, his right-hand man, basically. I forget the title that he had, right? You're supporting insurrection. You're supporting people that are criminals in the name of white supremacy. My point here is, if you're going to be racist, just, you know, hey, be straight up about it, right? Don't be somebody who's racist but don't want to be called racist. That's what the point is. Now, why would I say that at the beginning of a Shakur Stevenson video? Shakur Stevenson, I don't have to know the people. That's why if you guys come here, you guys know this dude, man. I know his channel ain't got no subscribers and whatever, you know what I'm saying? But this dude be right all the time. It's because when you don't have a horse in the race and you're a grown-ass man, you're just going to see what it is, right? You're going to see what it is. Shakur Stevenson is probably just extremely upset, disappointed, and all kind of whatever else kind of emotions you have. You know, he doesn't see, you know, why he should continue to do this. But Shakur Stevenson, just because of money, just continue to do that. Shakur Stevenson is probably one of the very best fighters in all of boxing. He's in that conversation. Once you start saying names like, first of all, you're going to say Terrence Crawford. But then you're going to start saying Usyk. I'm going to say stuff like Bivol, right? Who else we got? Devin Haney has to be in the conversation, even though I don't think Devin Haney's top 2 or 3. But Devin Haney, but for what he's done, he's in there, right? And, you know, Alexander Usyk, I think I said, you know, and it's a few others who probably I'm not coming, no slight to anybody, but, you know, it's about 5 or 6 fighters who we know up there, Inui, stuff like that. So Shakur Stevenson's name is going to come up. People, when you talk about the very best fighters, especially up and coming, his name is going to come up. He's already a 3-division champ. But isn't he 126, 130? Yeah, 130, 135 now, right? Here's things that Shakur Stevenson has to go through. His last fight, he was hurt and beat a very dangerous guy in not too close of a fight. But because he had to outbox him and just do what it is to survive and win the fight because he was hurt, all they said was he's boring. No one said his injury after he said he was injured. No one was giving him excuses like they did Manny Pacquiao against Floyd Mayweather, like they did Lomachenko against Teofimo Lopez, like they did Teofimo Lopez against Kambosos, things like that. You know, they say they're injured, well, damn it, okay, we're cool with it, and we're going to run with that narrative. Shakur Stevenson was only boring. How could you do that? They didn't say, well, damn, under those circumstances, you still won the fight easily. Well, the other guy was pretty good too, wasn't that easy, but under the circumstances, pretty damn good. Still undefeated, would rematch the guy. It's not a problem. But no one was saying anything about him being hurt. Shakur Stevenson also should have been fought Lomachenko. Asked him, you can't ask somebody that's nicer than how he asked Lomachenko. He didn't really call him out. Just say, hey, champ, blah, blah, blah. I told him, you know, just told him all the good things and just say, hey, but we should fight. He can't get the Lomachenko fight, even though he's at top rank with Lomachenko the whole time, right? Couldn't get the fight. So he has to go through that. No matter what he does, he can't get a big fight. He tried to fight Navarrete right now. Coming up, Navarrete wants to come up to 135. Hey, cool, you a champion, I'm a champion. Hey, can we get that? Navarrete's going to fight somebody else right now, Baranchek or something like that, right? You can't get that fight. You're obviously the best fighter in the world, but you won't be, you just can't get nothing. Remember, the exact same thing happened to Terrence Crawford. They never wanted to give him Manny Pacquiao because what happens when you do that? Or what happens if you give Canelo to Demetrius Andrade back when it could have been undisputed at 160, or back when Canelo could have fought, was the mandatory for Demetrius Andrade, could have fought him as a champion. If they do that, then those people, a Demetrius Andrade, a Terrence Crawford, or a Shakur Stevenson will be famous and obviously one of the best in boxing, and you can't get around it. So the whole boxing industry does whatever it takes to make sure that these people don't get opportunities. Because we can't say Canelo's the best if he got beat by Demetrius Andrade. We can't say Lomachenko's one of the best we ever seen if you ain't gonna put him in with a Shakur Stevenson or stuff like that. You can't say that Manny Pacquiao was all that when it's a dude right there. Terrence Crawford would have beat him 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. So, then you have to look, hey, Terrence Crawford's the best in the world. Shakur Stevenson's the best in the world. Or whoever else. Or Demetrius Andrade's the best in the world. Boxing does everything that doesn't happen. And we know it. I call it BTBG, amongst others. Beat the black guy. It is what it is in boxing. And when you're a boxer and you're training every day and doing everything for boxing, giving interviews, doing all your stuff for boxing, right? Then it gets exhausting. But Shakur Stevenson tries to play in the middle. Come in when Lomachenko, he thought Lomachenko beat Devin Haney. Come in the ring, Lomachenko won the fight. Giving Lomachenko props. One little interview he did about one of the best uploaders we have in terms of making sure that double standards, calling out double standards in boxing. One of the best uploaders that you have in the boxing game. He goes in on him, even though the guys just basically say, hey, dude, be careful what you're doing when you're doing that, because they're gonna, you're gonna be thrown under the bus soon. So he's trying to give him some healthy advice. Shakur took it wrong and then goes in on the guy like the guy is like it's coming from a bad place. And you would know that. I look past things like that because I think Shakur Stevenson is still young and you make mistakes. Doesn't know the gravity of what you're doing when you do things like that. Are you helping those people who don't like you? Right? That's why people are like, why are you so into Deontay Wilder? He doesn't do this, he doesn't do that. He's not that good at this. That's the whole point. He's not that good at everything, but everybody gets knocked the hell out. Right? And then the main reason is there's too many people that don't like him because they're racist. And I just refuse to help them out. So if I didn't have anything positive to say about Deontay Wilder, I wouldn't say nothing. But I'm not going to come out here and dog him in the name and help people who are just the scum of the earth. That's the reason. You take race people from the planet, there'll be a lot more peace going around here. You understand? So I'm not doing that. Sometimes it's more important, right? It's more, my principles are important, virtues. I'm not going to just, help people who just have a bad agenda. And it's always against people that kind of look like me and you. So at the end of the day, that's why. Shakur Stevenson is just upset. And he just needs to just go back, handle his business. And here's another thing he needs to do. He's come out just said, boxing is just a little bit this and a little bit that. Why don't you say exactly what's bothering you? And give the examples of Terrence Crawford, that they did the same thing with him. Give the examples of other people in boxing. Give the examples of a damn franchise title that they made just to keep blacks out of the limelight. That's all that was. They did it right in daylight, and people talk around stuff. That's our problem, because it's uncomfortable for us to constantly go through this, but we're afraid to make it uncomfortable for them to call them out on it. If you don't stand for something, you're going to fall for everything. Doma Sports Talk, worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.